Hey guys, it's ANicWin, also known as Amy, and happy Saturday. I hope you're having a lovely day. This is a small family home in Mount Komorebi, and I have actually made this for myself. I don't typically play in the lots that I've built. Did that make sense? In the homes that I built, that makes more sense. I don't know, I just never really feel connected to them. If I include the home and the family in like my save file, they're typically just like side characters. They're not really ones that I dive into. And I don't know. I don't know if that's like residual feelings left over from like playing The Sims 2 and Sims 3 and not being able to build in either one and always downloading other people's creations, or I don't know what it is. It's the weirdest thing, but it's definitely a thing. So, but yeah, I am going to be playing in my own build, and I basically I'm starting a new legacy or let's save. I don't really know how far I'm going to take this. It might just be the one generation and then I move on with my life. We'll see. It just depends on how much I fall in love with this particular family, but I haven't really explored the military career, and I've not really explored Mount Komorebi. When Snowy Escape came out, I can't remember if I was at the end of a semester or starting a new one, but either way, I didn't have time to really play it as much as I wanted to, and then by the time I got free time, something new had come out, and I can't remember what. I would have to look at the timeline and the release dates because I don't think linearly like that. But yeah, so I didn't really get to play with it a whole lot. So I'm doing that now. I'm also going to be playing with one of the new wellness aspirations. I forget which one. I think I picked like the first one just randomly because I haven't really dived. I don't know which word, but I haven't really played around with that either. So my very loose premise, because I'm not playing this with a bunch of rules, I'm really just here to explore the worlds and explore the career and see where it takes me, is I have a family of 3. It is, and I don't even know their names. I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of half asleep. But it's a couple. It is a male-female couple, and they have a toddler son. I think his name is Grady. I don't know. I really can't remember. You can tell I'm not attached to them yet because I haven't started to play with them just yet. And maybe I'm the only one, but I struggle with names. I know their faces. I struggle with names in real life too. Like this is just a problem. It's a me problem. But I'm going to be playing with them. So he is in the military career. I haven't given mom a job yet. She's not going to be in the same career though, because I don't want to play 2 Sims of the same thing. And he's the one with the wellness aspirations. She has one of the family aspirations because I've got a little bit of a plot twist in mind for them. And then I just have the toddler. I think he's inquisitive. I don't know. He's cute though. So I'll share them on the gallery. I don't mind sharing the family. I don't know if I'm going to share any snippets of the LP at all. I might share some screenshots on Twitter or Instagram. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. I'm just like really bad at taking in-game screenshots because I get so into what's happening that I'm like, man, that was a photo opportunity and I missed it. So we'll see. But I like the idea of dropping down into the middle of a Sims like life. Like they've already established a career sort of, and they already have a family. So I'm not starting at base 1, which is not something I typically do. So that's kind of exciting. But as I blabbed away, you can see the house itself came together. I've built this little pond next to it that the house kind of creeps out into. Initially, I was going to have the stones stacked around the foundation pillars, but it kept clipping and it was really irritating. So I decided to just sort of make it look like it's resting on a little bit of a stone foundation and just kind of built up some greenery around it. I use rocks everywhere on this lot, and it's not just because I like rocks, but it's also because if you look around, there are a ton everywhere. So this is obviously a really rocky area of the neighborhood, of the world. I don't know. So I'm working on blending that in. I wanted the water feature, but this might be just me, but when I make a water feature like a pond or even a pool that's meant to look like something more natural before we got the pond tool, you can't really connect it to a waterway that's like off lot, which is fine. Like I understand why that's not possible. but it forces you to create like a shoreline or something just to make it look real. And I didn't really want to do that here because I thought that was a little bit random, but I didn't have a choice. It looked weird open. So I do create this little beach. It is very tiny. I don't put anything on it. There's no sunbathing happening here, but your Sims can splash in the pond. So it is functional. You could also put some toys. Well, I think they can play with the sand. Like the toddlers can play in the sand without tools or toys or anything on there, but you can do that if you wanted to, if you want to download this home. We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. And then the rest of the yard is actually going to be dedicated kind of to activities. So we're going to have a little Zen garden meditation moment. I don't really know what you would call this either. This is simply because I'm going to play around with that aspiration. I assumed that I needed this. I may not. We'll see. If I don't need it, I'll probably replace it. And then I also give them a swing set a little bit later on. So while that's happening, while we're watching this come together, and this is all very like Snowy Escape item heavy. I used a lot of base game and Snowy Escape only. The interior is decorated without any pack restrictions. I almost made it a pack restriction build, but decided not to. But the exterior is mostly base game and Snowy Escape. So if you want to download it unfurnished, if you don't have all the packs or you just want to decorate it differently, to suit your needs, you definitely can. I'm not going to upload an unfurnished version, which I think I said I was going to of a previous build, and I definitely did not. Now that I'm thinking of that, I'm going to have to figure out which one that was and do that. But you can download it and just click unfurnished, and the exterior and all the landscaping should remain in place. But do place it with move objects on, because Lord knows I used it. But anyway, well, as this is coming together, I just want to give you all a heads up that soon I will not be uploading twice a week anymore, at least not on a consistent basis. Wednesdays will always be consistent. That is the day. Saturdays are probably going to start to be a little bit more sporadic, and definitely after January they won't be happening. And that is purely because I am in my final year of my undergrad, of my bachelor's degree. And next semester I will be taking, it's technically 6 classes. One is an internship that I'm completing through work, so that's not really changing anything. But the other, I'll have 5 other classes. So I'm just going to be a little bit busy and I'm just trying to get graduated and get that done. So I don't know if I'll feasibly be able to do 2 videos a week. So I'm going to commit to every Wednesday, and if I have a bonus video every now and then, Saturdays. So we'll see. I can't really say much until I get to that point, because I don't really know what all it's going to entail. And I know for one class I'm going to have to do some like observation hours, and I'm stressed thinking about it, but it's fine. We're in the home stretch. We're going to be okay. We're going to make it. I'm so stressed because I don't like not knowing what's coming, and I have no clue. But yeah, so that's a teeny announcement. It shouldn't affect you guys too much. If you really live for those Saturday uploads, I'm sorry. They won't never happen. They're not going away forever, but they will be reduced. So yes. But yeah, so we're finishing the exterior here. I thought this turned out to be really pretty. I'm thinking that they're renting this space. They didn't purchase it. And so there's not a whole lot of like customization in my head. This really does look like they've rented an Airbnb for a long time. And I kind of like that. That was the aesthetic I was going for. But we jumped straight into the bathroom. I decided to use that tile. I've never used it. It kind of overwhelms me, especially in a small space. So I didn't do both sections of the bathroom. I have the sink and the toilet with that wood paneling from Spa Day, I think. And then I use the tile where the tub and the shower is. So this is a 4-piece bathroom. I don't put the toddler potty in the bathroom. It's in the toddler's room. There really wasn't space, and it just aesthetically, it didn't fit the vibe. So I didn't do it. But the bathroom comes together pretty simply. I did not over clutter or over decorate. It's just, it's there. It's minimal, and that's really what I wanted to go for there. I also moved straight into the kitchen. This is every living space is on the small side. And I'm moving closer to the mic, sorry. It's on the small side, and I like that. I like playing in smaller homes, and I like playing in one-story homes. I'm not really a fan of multi-story level or multi-level houses, just because I spend all of my Sims time that they're awake on the first level. So, like, what's the point of having more, you know? That's bold coming from someone who builds a lot of two-story homes, but that's just personal play preference. But yeah, so I used, again, a lot of the Snowy Escape stuff. The clutter is not strictly Snowy Escape. There are no upper cabinets to match the counters, so I did use the shelving units that came with it. I sized that one down because it was just a little too big. It stuck out from the wall way too much. And I just clutter it up with spices. I imagine there's a little teapot, tea options, because there will be a tea brewer down there as well, nice, and plants and things like that, just to make it look like they've unpacked and that's where they live. I throw some herbs in there above the fridge because I like the way that it looked. I'm going to be totally honest. And then I use the tea shelf here. And then I'm going through debug and pulling out different jars. I pull out a package that kind of looks like it came from the grocery, the actual grocery package, the surprise mystery box thing from Cottage Living, and the Zoomers delivery bag. Now, I think the grocery bag and the delivery bag will go bad. So if you download this, you may just want to go ahead and like use it, put it away or whatever. I don't honestly know. We'll find out together because I will be playing with it. But I like the look of it being out because it looks like someone's just like, you know, brought their things in from the car or whatever, and they haven't quite gotten around to unpacking and putting everything away. It's just like a little snip of real life, and I liked that idea. Then we place these jars up here on top of this tea cabinet shelf thing. I imagine that they're into sustainability and that they're just repurposing like pickle jars, which kind of horrifies me, and jam jars and stuff like that as drinking glasses. And the only reason that horrifies me is I hate pickles. I don't like anything that's been in vinegar. I don't like sour foods at all. I just don't like it. I like sour candy, not sour food. It's just not something I can handle. It freaks me out. But that's pretty much it for the kitchen. I don't clutter up that island. That is the only cooking space, and I leave both pieces open so you can do the group cooking if you want to. But that's also the dining space as well. Like I said, this is really tiny. And then we move here to the entryway. There is a shoe rack, a coat rack, a little hanging peg or two. That's just to kind of be like, oh, I've come in, I take my shoes off, I take my coat off, you know, hang my bag up. And then there is this bookshelf. The bookshelf is accessible even though it is cluttered. So I give them the fish tank because I think it's cute. I love having fish tanks in my builds. I always play with one, whether it's the big one or the little one. That's something I always have in a home, which is silly because I never have a TV. So I don't know. But I gave them a camera, the little embroidery kit, and a few other things as well. I think the Future Cube made an appearance. And that's just to give them activities inside the home. And then we move on to this living space, which is admittedly super tiny, and it's probably laughably small. But this is the size of the living room that I like. I don't like playing with huge living rooms because I don't use them. They're usually just for decoration. So I'm fine with it being squished off into the corner. It works for me. You're getting a lot of insight into how I play. But I fit everything in here. There's a small console table with a small TV. There's decorations on the wall. I placed some of these toys underneath the console table, along with some baskets from Dream Home Decorator, just to make it look like their storage, because they have a child, so I imagine they probably got things shoved everywhere. And then I placed some books and toys on top of the console table as well. And then there is a couch and a chair, and I think I squeeze in a side table. We're going to find out together because I don't remember what I did. But this is a little cozy space. I like how small it is. I like that it is cramped, but it looks intentionally cramped, you know? And I included that space heater. I almost never use that. I forget it exists, and it's such a cool object, so I thought, why not? Okay, yes, I did use a small side table. I remember trying to use the one that's a little bit of a, I think it's a sculpture technically from Get Famous because it's triangular, but it was just too tall and I was trying not to use the tool mod, but that backfires. Then we jump into the master. I was going to have the foot of the bed against the window like that, but the view is just not worth the effort that it was going to take to make that happen. So I shift things around, and then I recall eventually that I want to use a fireplace in the build. I meant to use one in the living space. It was just a little too small. It didn't make sense. And I thought, bedroom, perfect opportunity, let's go. So I did. I got rid of that dresser. I opted for 2 tiny living dressers. So technically there's one for mom, one for dad. I do block one of them, but that's okay. You don't really need access to both. You just need access to one. And I clutter up the top. So this is dad's dresser. He's got some books. He's got his, personal hygiene items. Mom has a plant and her perfume and things like that. And then I place a mirror and a little towel rack on the wall, a little basket of blankets. I wanted this space to be cozy. I wanted it to be clear that this is where the adults lived and that, even though they're in Mount Komorebi, they're not necessarily from Mount Komorebi, so there are some touches of home. And not a ton though, because this is a rental. I think I said that at the beginning. I'm imagining that it's a rental, so they're, still working within the parameters of, don't put too many holes in the wall. Be careful, be mindful of what you're doing because you're under lease. And I was going to place a little couch or love seat at the end of the bed. I ended up going for a table, which is really a trunk. And I like that decision a little bit better. Then we move on to the toddler room here, and you're going to notice a few cuts. I did finally break down and use the tool mod. I also changed my mind on a few things a few times. And instead of letting you watch me go through the painful decision-making process, I just cut some of it out because it wasn't productive, to be totally honest. But I like the color scheme in this room. I did go for a little bit of the mountain theme. I figured this room was already painted like this and they just leaned into it. And maybe the kid's adventurous. I know I said he's inquisitive, but maybe as he gets older, he's into snowboarding and all of those things. So I gave him a little book area. That's where I used the tool mod. I do fix the angle that they're leaned at because I realize later they're a little too far forward. And then this is the rest of his room. It's just a cozy little space where he can read and play and explore and be his little inquisitive toddler self. So on that note, I'm going to leave you guys here to enjoy the rest of the build. As always, feel free to leave a like or a comment down below letting me know what you think. You can also subscribe if that's something that would spark joy for you. I will be posting the screenshots on Instagram as per usual if you want to hop over there and check those out. I will be posting my next video on Wednesday, and in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely rest of your week. Bye guys!
Come closer, dance for me. Easy, tiger, easy, let your hair down. Come closer.